Oh, I was just showing that I made it. I made it up here. And we're looking at the polar plateau here, guys. This is the kind of flat bit. Kind of get up onto it here behind us here. They call it focal point. This is an easy access up onto the plateau, and then up here is the plateau of the continent. And I think they tend to be privately funded, so either like wealthy individuals or private sponsored. Most of the work that's happening in Antarctica is almost exclusively scientific.
Right.
And that'll be funded by either National Museums or National Geographic or funding. Weave our way through. I also don't want to sit right underneath that picture as we get closer.
This is what we're looking out into.
I don't think I have the requisite skills. Oh, the death wish. I've read too many books by the people that have done extensive amounts of time.
Yeah.
Down here. They don't sell it, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't sound awesome.
It's amazing bubble rolls.
I love the blue crack in this one as well. See into that kind of dense interior of the bird.
You see that royal blue?
Like the aquamarine of the Quark. Stalagmites.
Okay.
And then these little creatures, the microalgae is going to start colonizing the fundamental.
I know you've told us before, but where does the brown come from on top there? How is it so dense brown?
Dirty ice,
Yeah.
like the albedo effect. Like it's going to be absorbing a lot more light, so the ice is going to melt quicker. The ice. Looks like there might even be a rock embedded on this piece of ice right here.
Yeah.
Having a snooze?
High.
It is high. There's got to be a low part, surely, somewhere where he's found his way up. Unless he's developed the ability to fly.
Oh, there's two.
Oh, nice. Lovely. Lovely crabby.
What's that black thing on the ice there?
Is that a piece of rock? Piece of rock embedded in there. Spin it around and put it off the right side this time, just for variety. Please, yeah. You're on the left hand side. Oh, little crabby face. That's a good angle.
Oh. Yeah, you could see the ones.
There he is. Hello. Thank you for lifting your head.
Good. Change the concessions.
He's on top of a cave, hey? than we're a lot around down here. Things are changing. It's a desert, right?
Right.
So you're not meant to get a lot of precipitation. But with warming water masses, especially off the west side of the peninsula here, warmer air can carry more water vapor.
Yeah.
So if your air's warmer, your air particles are more dispersed, which make more room for water vapor to be absorbed inside of it.
Yeah.
And so warmer air is carrying more water vapor, which means that when it hits the cold continent here and it condenses, it loses that water vapor. So we're getting more and more precipitation with warming temperatures.
Right.
Yeah. So the western peninsula is getting more and more precipitation. And in the summer, that sometimes comes as rain. More beautiful blues here as well.
So how do they tell, like, or can they, like, how blue, like, one of the icebergs?
It's really hard to do for individual icebergs. For some places in Antarctica, generally speaking, most of the ice on the peninsula region is going to be at most kind of like 6,000 years old. But there are some places on the continent where you're looking at ice that's considerably older than that. It's really hard to do just by looking at it. You can't. I think it's impossible to do just by looking at it.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell which bits are more dense. You guys have probably heard that by now. Like the blue ice with less air bubbles in it is the densest ice, therefore usually the oldest ice. And then I guess to a lesser extent where the ice is coming from might also give you an indication of age. There are some places like it's coming off the ice sheet where the ice is going to be a lot older. But it's really interesting because even you would think that the ice on the bottom is the oldest and the ice on the top is the youngest, but when you've got glaciers that are coming up over, say, a mountain range, you get deep ice pushed up right to the surface, but sometimes you got really old ice right at the surface. So basically, that's a very long way of saying, without taking a core and doing kind of like samples of it and reading, like what the gas levels are inside the air bubbles, it's pretty much impossible to know how old the ice is.
But that ice is old.
They're pretty old. Yeah, I think it's all safe to say, pretty old.
Right.
It's my professional opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Super slow surfacing.
Yeah, awesome in the most literal sense. Horrible.
So if you've been in my boat already, forgive me because you may have heard this, but I think it's worth kind of repeating that so you can see these two traveling really close together, clearly feeding in a synchronized way here. For the longest time, we didn't think that humpback whales did that in Antarctica.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's lots of records of cooperative feeding in other parts of the world. Where I guide primarily in BC, amazing kind of feeding strategies, working as a group, probably like feeding as a group, working together to hunt prey. And for the longest time in Antarctica, we didn't think they did that. But I think what's happening is now that the numbers are increasing again since the end of commercial whaling, we're seeing more and more and more of this cooperative feeding. So what seems most likely is that actually we just decimated the numbers so much that there weren't enough of them to work together to do things anymore. Their social kind of structure got disrupted by the fact that we really, really reduced their numbers quite significantly. And now that they've come back since that, since the end of commercial whaling, they've started to take up some more of those social habits again.
And when did commercial whaling stop?
60s.
And that's worldwide, everybody's agreed?
Negative, no. Still
Really?
commercial whaling happening in several countries around the world, yeah. Still very much a thing.
Stay seated, please. You can look off the lights. What are they all looking at? That is a lily. It's all hidden flippers. Keep an eye out for mama.
do. He's smelling us. He's trying to work out what we are. Oh yeah, he's trying to work out which one to eat first. The ice sheet, and when it gets squeezed that much and it's been under that much pressure, it goes to this sort of greenish colour, right? So it's been sitting in the ice sheet. This is an old piece of ice. This would be 30,000 years old, okay? And it's at the end of its life. It's just been freed. It's just coming through. So we'll do a very slow lap of it. Please feel free to get up, take photos, do whatever you need to do. It's gorgeous.
How old did you say it was?
25, 30 years. It's old. It's very old.
You mean this is the underside or
Sorry?
you mean this area is
Just the colours, the formation, especially the green that's within it. Stunning. I see these are often. Come on, then. It's nice. Get red. Over here. Too fast for me. still coming.
That was awesome.
The basic reality you get. Hey.
All right, guys. So this is our first day going back on the Drake Passage. And for the most part, it's the Drake Lake. I mean, it's still rocking like a little bit. You'll probably see that um, shade behind me, the curtain behind me sway. Because it still is moving a little bit, but it's just not the Drake shake like we had coming down, which is a good thing. I still put my patch in though, put my patch on, just in case. And I think that's what makes my lip little and face look a little swollen. Because I was fine after I took that patch off, and for the 4 or 5 days we were in Antarctica, and then I put that patch back on, and this morning I'm like, I look weird. So anyway, that's fine. I'd rather have that than feel the side effects of nausea. That's like the worst. The feeling of nausea and the feeling of constipation are the worst feelings in the world. Um, just how I feel. But anyway, so I want to kind of just recap this experience. I was one of two black passengers on this particular cruise. The sister ship, the Ultramarine, had a group from Black Travel Movement. I don't know if you guys know of them from Facebook, but about, I would say, I think it's 53 of them ended up going. The Ultramarine is a sister ship to the World Explorer, both with Quark. Ultramarine is nice. It is luxury. It's not the most luxurious, right? Because there's some just like yacht cruises out there. It's still an expedition ship, but it's a luxury one. And I don't know. I didn't think this ship was that bad. Like World Explorer, probably in comparison, is just as good. There are a handful of black crew. There's one guy working security, one working, like he helps us on and off the boats. There's Penny Padrina. Hey, Padrina. I got a picture of her. She's on the expedition crew. She also helps work the boutique shop. And she also is a guide and stuff as well, because everyone kind of does multiple roles, right? Everyone just kind of has to jump in and do stuff. I don't think there was any housekeepers. There was, oh no, I take that back. There's one housekeeper. I didn't have a chance to meet her. I've seen her in passing, but I haven't had a chance to meet her. And then there's a wait staff, Rona. She's dope too. So, it was helpful to see a familiar face in that regard. But otherwise, the passengers were great. Like, no one, like, second guessed. Like, everyone was still friendly. I mean, I think I kind of got, like, a few, like, stares. Like, who are you? Like, are you crew? What are you doing here? Type thing. But for the most part, like, especially the Americans, and especially this one group from Hong Kong, I ended up on 2 Zodiacs with them, and like they, welcome me with open arms. Like they always looked out for me. Like, hey, you see that? Hey, don't get so close. Like, give her some space so she can get her camera out. And then like taking group pictures. Like, yeah, get in the group. Because I'm like, hey, y'all can have that. And like, no, I'm getting a group picture. It's like, okay, they probably go home and crop me out anyway. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They were still nice. They were still nice. Expedition team was just kind of, they were chill. They weren't nasty or didn't help me or whatever. Like there was a patch of icy conditions, and that was what was kind of confusing, because they would set up the flags and say like stay on a certain side of the flag, but the flags were in a circle. So it's like, what am I supposed to get down on? Which side am I supposed to? Yeah, it was a little confusing, but anyway. But had no trouble helping me down, even though I guess I was on the wrong side of the flags, but technically I was on the right side of the flags, depending on how you looked on the flags. Anyway, that was the only confusing part. But yeah, like people, reached out, people asked questions, people, said, hey, you don't have to sit alone if you don't want to. Like, you can have lunch with us, you can have dinner with us, which was nice, So I did a little bit of both, right? I ate with people when I felt like eating with people, and I didn't when I didn't feel like people. If we were on shore in the Zodiac and I wanted to chat, I'd chat. And or like, I want help with this photo, they take it. Or they come by and offer, or if I just wanted to be alone, people left me alone. So that was great. There are a couple other solo travelers. Most of them we're around the same age, like mid-30s to 40s. But most people either came at least in pairs, like in twos. Like my roommates, they like knew each other, even if they weren't like the bestest friends. They just had this goal in common. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to again be with like-minded people, and then being able to find common interests in other things. Like, we were talking about like country living, and we were talking about like Broadway shows and our first Broadway show, and and then come to find out someone used to work on Broadway. It was nice. The guides and stuff, the lectures, I learned a lot. I like the option of just kind of chilling in my room with it, because, starting to hear some sneezes and coughs and sniffles and stuff. So I'm like purposefully not trying to be around too many people at this point. So far, so good. I feel great, and I want to keep it that way. The air is dry, though. The air is dry. So I'm about to run my humidifier more. I've been running it each night, and that's been fine. I don't know if it's the drink passage, or I don't know. I'm pretty certain it's just the result of the patch, because the patch does give you dry mouth, but it's starting to give me like dry nasal passages as well. So I'm going to run my humidifier, my portable humidifier that I bought at Aldi. Again, I'll do a recap of everything I brought with me and then things that I actually used and didn't use. So that'll be a part of that. But again, like expedition wise, ship wise, everyone's nice, everyone's friendly. I didn't feel isolated. I am not an extrovert by any means, but I did feel welcome. So I guess it just depends on the ship. It might just depend on the group of people you're with. Each line is different. Each boat is different. The crew does move around. Um, the makeup of this ship. I don't. They haven't given us the stats. There's like 150-ish of us. 104 of us did the polar plunge. Yes, I did the polar plunge. I did it. I got the patch to prove it and the t-shirt to prove it. And the photos will come. I didn't have anyone to record my photos. My roommate was supposed to record me and the other roommate doing it, but she got the timing off and the side wrong, so she didn't record either one of us, so it's whatever. But the ship photographer did. So I'll have those photos at some point, probably after I post this, but so yeah, but everyone's hyping you up, everyone's cheering for you, you know what I mean? It was just a vibe. There was a lot of people from all over the world. There were a good number of Americans, but I actually think there were more people from China. There was one group who had a dedicated translator, and then there was another group, so about like 25-ish in all, not including like my roommates who came separate, like not with the group. And then, you had just sporadic American, Canadians. There was like 3 or 4 people from the UK, and then there's a group of Italians. I don't think the Italians booked together. I know one of the group of Asians, I believe, from China didn't book together. They all met on the ship. So they came mostly like as couples. So yeah, like I said, you got a couple single folks, male and female. You have a group, and they are, I think, a family from the Philippines. And then you had a sprinkling of a couple of people from a couple of families, like small families from India. You had a couple of people on their honeymoons. They were like, yeah, we went and eloped and used all the money to come here. So it's like, oh yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The group, and like I said, everyone was friendly. Everyone was there. It's really helpful that everyone is here for the same like reasons, right? Like they're like-minded travelers. Most people searching to do all 7 continents. Some of us, it's not our 7th. Most of us, it is. Some people, like one girl, she quit her job and she's been traveling for the last like 9 months and has no idea when she's going to stop. Like you have those people, you have some of us who are like, oh, nope, I'm getting back to work as soon as this is over, right? I'm getting back to my life, and it is what it is. So yeah, that has been the voyage so far. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end this here. Later on I'm gonna do a separate like personal reflection of what I did, what I learned, and things like that. But the ship is great. Like you can tell it's slightly older, but it's not. It's still modern. It's still nice. It's still very, very, very nice. I get on this ship again. The Ultramarine does have the helicopter, and from what I understand, like you can get like a 7-minute ride, which I think is cool. But like I want to get on the helicopter and like get off on the land and then ride, you know what I mean, ride back to the ship. But that's another thrill in itself that I might be ready for now that I've experienced this. So yeah, I think that's it. Lunch is starting to be served, so I think I'm gonna head down and do that. I've just been chilling. Like I said, I get to watch the lectures and stuff from my room instead of going down to the auditorium. Still have to mail some postcards, so I still have a few things to do. I haven't used up all my internet, so I'll probably use that tomorrow on the second day of the drink. But yeah, this was definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And I hope to be able to get some good content out for everyone and answer any questions anyone might have. So yeah, talk to you later. Ta-ta for now. So we're headed to the bridge for a tour. Quark does not have an open bridge policy. You have to have the tour, and this is what we're about to do. It's really rocky. It went from Drake Lake to almost Drake Pond to now the Drake Shrake. But elevators are still working, so I guess that's a good sign. Hi.
I can count you as well. That's the last of the groups. So if you're not even in group 8 but you still haven't done it, that's your last chance. We need to remember one thing. This is the working space of the people who are driving this ship. So we need to respect that. And that's why I ask you to keep your voices down. It's okay to ask questions, but just keep your voices down, right? They're happy to answer and so on. Just don't scream too much. The second rule is, please, I really please ask you, don't touch anything. Especially not the big red buttons. That should be fine, right?
But the captain, can we touch the captain?
No, you cannot touch the captain. So we love you, but we don't want you to try to drive the ship. Right? And in order not to do it by accident, by falling on something, please hold on to someone. Yeah, so hold on to the railings that you find all around the bridge. On the bridge, you will be split in 2 groups, but each one gets the same briefing from a different staff member. So it's just for organization. So you don't have to change the groups or anything like this. Half of you will go there, half of you will go there. So that's the second rule, don't touch anything. Be reasonably quiet. And the third rule is that it's okay to take photos. Just they ask that you don't take any videos. All right? But photos are good. Unless you, and you don't have to ask about it unless you, I don't know, want to take somebody's picture like this, then probably you should ask about that. Just, right? I think that's reasonably clear. So now Fernando will take you to deck 6.
Hello guys.
Joy.
No drinks also?
No.
No drinks and
Let's go down.
Scusami, non fa pensare di quello, quasi che faccio la scuola.
Excuse me. Come through.
In camera. Comodissimo, ritorno, almeno mi sbatacchio già dentro lì.
Almost. We're gonna wait till the whole group is here. Hey, we just make a line. That's good.
Ma su questo non stiamo vedendo in camera sua.
Once they are all here, we are all here. We get in. Okay.
was just absolutely. What? The penguin. Thank you. Because sometimes I hear people go, "Oh, more penguin." I'm looking around the glasses, making sure that you got it. So the first one, I think it just is justified. We've got to give it to Antarctica. It delivered it all for us, and with such enthusiasm, and just it all. So, cheers to Antarctica.